Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to the Chelley Roy Show. I am your host, Chelley Roy, and we have an amazing show for you guys tonight. The Chelley Roy Show, guys, I can't believe it, but we are wrapping up our fourth season, getting geared up for season five. I've been working hard. I know you guys haven't seen me. I've missed you guys as well. But just because you don't see me doesn't mean that I'm not working. I've been working hard behind the scenes, working on some amazing projects that I cannot wait to share with you guys. So, October and November is typically Cancer Awareness Month. So, tonight's segment is going to be focused on discussing the different types of cancer, the types of support, and the types of resources available for you guys. So, my next guest, or actually my first guest, is a stage four cancer survivor. So, I'm going to bring her on to let her tell her story. You guys help me welcome Miss Erica Campbell. Welcome,
Hey,
Erica.
how are you?
I am well. I can't complain. How you been?
I am great. I am great. I'm living, I'm enjoying life. And as you stated, working on projects myself as well. So I'm great. How
That's
about you?
good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm blessed. Thankful. All of the above. I'm super excited. I can't believe we're in November already. I mean, have you even
Yes.
thought about Thanksgiving? Our Thanksgiving
Yeah.
shopping?
Well, I haven't started shopping, but I have thought about it, where I'm going to eat, where I'm going to go. So, yes. And Christmas is right around the corner after that. So,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, isn't it amazing how they all run together? You have Halloween, then you have Thanksgiving, and then you have Christmas.
Yes, and then a new year. But I was telling my girlfriend I get anxiety with all the holidays, with, especially Christmas, should I say, because just like, what do I get this person? What do I get that person? It's like you forget what the meaning
Is
is,
about.
truly what it's about. So yeah, I get a little anxiety when it comes to the
Oh,
holidays.
no. Well, don't let it give you anxiety. Like you said, stay focused and remembering what
Yeah,
it's really about and its purpose. And
absolutely.
hopefully that should bring down some of the anxiety a little bit. But yeah, don't
Yeah,
don't let it give you anxiety for sure. It's funny because
absolutely.
my neighbors are just so festive. Like I literally was running errands the other day and I saw my neighbors putting up the Halloween decorations. Now the Thanksgiving stuff is already out. Like they're just on.
Wow. Yeah, very
They
festive, I
are on
see.
it. Yeah,
That's cool.
I have a festive bunch in my neighborhood, which is really good. It definitely
Yeah.
tells you where the energy and the excitement is, which is
Yeah. Get your yeah, that's good. Good vibes, get that feeling going, keep a smile on your face. That's all good things.
it is good thing. So I see you rocking your cancer survivor sweatshirt. So before we get into
Yes.
your story, let me see that.
Yes,
Support
ma'am.
cancer
Yes.
survivor, support
Yes.
survivor. I love that.
Support Cancer Survivors is my new baby. It's
I
a
saw
move
that.
my apparel line. Yes. So it's definitely he is here to be able to give hope and encourage and uplift our cancer communities and those newly diagnosed with cancer, to help provide financial support to them by every purchase. Proceeds will go back into the community to help those that are affected by this what could be deadly disease. So yes, this is my new baby. It's fashionable, it's
It
comfy.
really is.
So
I'm
this
gonna
is
have
the
to get
pink.
me one. I see.
Yes,
So what other
ma'am.
colors does it come in? Pink and what else?
So I have pink, as you see right here. I have black,
Mhm.
I have white, and I also just dropped my lavender or purple or violet, whichever color you see.
Yeah.
And also a light gray, which is also considered like an ash color. So I just dropped that
Right.
on yesterday, November 1st.
I absolutely. What was it? A significant reason behind dropping it on the first, or that was just your deadline?
No, Yeah, well, no deadline. I just wanted to put out a couple of more new colors. So I dropped the
Okay.
purple and the gray. So I said, because I asked everyone on my social media maybe like 2 weeks ago, what other colors should I drop? And I kind of, hinted towards the purple and the gray. And violet is my ribbon color for Hodgkin lymphoma. So I definitely wanted to drop that. But I figured, people love colors. You know what I mean? Again, it's fashionable. You can put them with some jeans, some nice kicks. I seen you with your hat tops and things like that. You the stylist over there. So I wanted to drop some more, some more colors for those of you who like to, rock the different colors. And as you can see, the different colors in the word
I love it.
survivors,
I
it
love that.
represents a type of cancer. So yeah.
Oh, the colors of the letters
Yes.
represents. Wow. Can you break that down
Yeah.
for me?
So, right, look, I'm looking at the camera.
Okay.
So the S is purple. So, like for myself, I had a Hodgkin lymphoma. So purple or violet. Then you have the pink, which represents Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which was last month, October.
Mhm.
And also, while I'm talking about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we did have a limited edition Support My Breast hoodie as well in the month of
I saw that.
October. Yes,
Beautiful.
ma'am. And we do have a few left. If anyone is watching, want to purchase a hoodie, Support My Breast hoodie, you can go to ericasurvive.com and purchase you a hoodie. And the proceeds will go to Runway for a Cure. My girl, Ramia, she is the
Yes, for
founder of
me.
Runway for a Cure. Yes. So proceeds will go back to her organization for the Support My Breast limited edition hoodie. So, yes. So every color, depending on the type of cancer you had. And also like orange is leukemia. So, and sometimes the different colors can represent this like multiple types of cancer. So,
Okay.
like purple could represent maybe 2 or 3 types of cancer. So it just depends. So yeah, so it's a great cause. We trying to make it fashion, and also, like I said, uplift those that are affected by this disease.
Disease. I absolutely love that. And that's why I love having these types of segments and commentary is very educational. Like you really just educated me. And for
Yeah,
me, anyone who knows me know that I love color. I'm not that girl that's going to reach for black. Color makes me happy. So like you
yes,
said, it, creates a positive mindset for anyone. You know what I mean? So
definitely, definitely.
I saw earlier you had posted and I reposted your reel and it said something about one day I was minding my business and then all of a sudden Hodgkin's lymphoma. Talk to us about that day, how you found out,
Yes.
what your life was like, and what your type of cancer is.
Yeah, so that video that you're speaking of, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society reached out to me during the month of September, which is Blood Cancer Awareness Month, to do the video. I think it was like a TikTok thing that everybody was using the gospel song in the background to just, do something fun.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so definitely I did the video. So basically that day changed my life. March 28th, 2013 was the day that my life changed forever. And when a doctor, after uh, having surgery, which they had to cut my neck open, which was my second biopsy surgery, they had to go in, take the lymph node. And on that day, I was diagnosed with, I didn't know I was stage 4 at that time, but I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma. And him saying those words to me as I lay in the hospital bed with a gauze across my neck, it was like, it was a shock. It was a shock at first, and I was, part of me, it was a shock. And part of me, I kind of knew, because you know how we like to self-diagnose ourselves by going to google.com.
Oh my
So
God.
with,
The
so
worst.
leading, yeah, so leading up to that biopsy surgery, with all the back and forths to the doctor's appointments and trying to figure out what was going on, because I had this ongoing cough that would not let up. So I'm like, my primary doctor stated that I probably did have lymphoma or sarcoidosis. But looking at google.com, most of the symptoms that I did have, I was experiencing, it made me feel like I had cancer before I, was told by the surgeon that I did in fact have cancer on March 28, 2013. I was angry. I was scared. I was confused. I was pissed at God. Let me be real. I was pissed in that moment, because I'm like, why did you choose me? What is this about? Like, I had to have a conversation with God, like, why me? as my family sat right there at my bedside at that time. But, after a while, with prayer and faith and just the support of my amazing family and friends, I said, why not me? Why he chose me for a reason.
Mm.
He chose me for a reason.
Amen. That is just, you are definitely a true hero, a survivor for
Thank
sure,
you.
and a warrior. You know what I mean? Just sitting there listening to that, you know what I mean? Just having your neck
Yes.
cut and just having to process all of that. So, we're going to talk a lot about not just the blood cancer, the Hodgkin's
Hmm.
lymphoma, but just the support and the
Yes.
services that are available. So when you were first diagnosed or when you first had that conversation with your doctor, what was your
Hmm.
support system like? Because 2013, that was a long time ago. And I know that
Yes.
things are steadily evolving. Charities and foundations and organizations are, still evolving and, coming
Hmm.
about and coming up to speed with cancer. But what was your support system like then and what services were available to you?
My support system was amazing. My family, my parents, my sisters, my brother, my close friends, they were very supportive. They were there with me, throughout the entire time. Back then, in the hospital, coming to visit because I was in the hospital often. I would I would be at the hospital for maybe a few days at a time. I would go home, and this is just because I was just having these different ups and downs during that time. I would
Mm.
come home, something else would come up, I gotta go back. But when I was home, I had a lot of friends and family that would stop by just to check on me, to bring me food, groceries, when I could eat, because of course my stomach was just out of whack where I wasn't eating much. But I had a great circle around me, support system. When it came down to the resources, getting into contact with like the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the Lymphoma Research Foundation, American Cancer Society, these different organizations, I was I didn't know anything about it. Neither did my family. This is all new for all of us. So it took my cancer center, my what do you call it? I just had a brain fart. So my social worker, yes, my
Okay.
social worker at the cancer center, which many people I found through Erica Survive by speaking to different newly diagnosed patients, they don't have that support. And it's like, what is going on? You're at this cancer center. You would think that, well, I thought every cancer center would have a social worker that would actually sit down with you, like mine's, and go through a book and say, hey, these are your resources. If you need financial support, if you need peer-to-peer support, someone to talk to, here's the number, here's the website, this
Wow.
is where you go. And I was so blessed and fortunate to have that information and to have those resources through St. Agnes Cancer Center in Baltimore, Maryland. And I felt like, she was a gem, and also to include my amazing oncology doctor who was there for me from beginning until 2022. I can text
Wow.
her, I can call her. She's the lead oncologist at this cancer center, but she always made me feel like I was her only patient. To
Wow.
have that status and to make me feel like I was her only patient, it was amazing. But it's unfortunate that a lot of patients and their families, they don't have the resources like I was blessed to have. So that's why I started Erica Survive, my cancer advocacy support movement, to be able to help those that are in need. Hey, call me, email me if you have questions and concerns. If you need resources, if you need money, call me.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do in regards to, financially raising by fundraising or support cancer survivors hoodies, to be able to have the funding to give to you at that time.
That's very important. And like you said, you're very blessed. And just listening to you, I would think,
Hmm.
I don't know a lot about cancer. I've learned what I've learned through having conversations with yourself and
Hmm.
Gayla and many other folks who are well rounded on the topic. But I would think in my mind that, like you said, various different centers, especially at a particular facility or location where you're
Hmm.
diagnosed, that, like you said, someone will come in, sit down and talk with you, letting you know, you're not alone. We're here to help you. These are your options, basically like a step-by-step guidebook, so to speak, because
Absolutely.
it's all new to you. You know what I mean? You're
Yep.
processing it, and it's like, where do I go from here? So you're
Exactly.
definitely fortunate for sure. And that's something that I want to talk with you, Gayla, when we speak in a little bit, because I believe Gayla's organization, if they haven't already been doing it, they're going to start doing consultations with patients and their families, to try
Hmm.
and, like you said, put together a strategy and a game plan on
Yeah.
how to be there with them. So
Yeah.
that's very, very important.
Absolutely. What do you need help with? What do you need at that time? Is very important because you're already dealing with being told that you have cancer. So
Yeah.
in your mind, and like myself, am I going to die? I had so much to worry about at that time. Single, no children. I mean, I had my family, but it's all new to them. So I remember
Yes.
just sitting around making calls. Hey, I have a mortgage. Now how do I pay my mortgage when I'm out of work for 4 or 5 months? So I had to contact my mortgage company. Hey, can you, put a freeze on my account? Can I pay half? Call my HOA, hey, I can't pay the full HOA. Hey, I have a car note. So you have bills. You reach out to Pepco. Hey, I got cancer. I'm not working. What can you do? So it's a lot that goes into being newly diagnosed, where
Right.
you're sick, you're trying to heal, but you're
You
still
have
worried
to
about,
still
am I going to
keep.
lose my house?
Yeah. And so
you
that's an
know.
interesting point. If you could educate me as well as you're educating the audience too.
Hmm.
So, just out of curiosity, because you're right, because someone is sick and, they're trying to deal with, certain circumstances that has now
Hmm.
changed their lives, life still goes on. You still have to keep a roof over your head. You still have other obligations. So, just out of curiosity, so that myself and others that are listening will know,
Hmm.
do they have programs in place like that? Like if you call a
Hmm.
Pepco or your mortgage company, I mean, because I didn't even think of it until you said something like that. That not
Yeah.
only, Gayla, when you're providing support to not only the patient, Erica, and the
Yeah.
families, there's a financial side of it. So, do those
It
companies have
is.
programs
They
to support
they
that?
absolutely do. Yeah. So it depends on,
Wow.
from my experience, it depends on what, well, I won't say it depends. The state that you live in, you can contact certain companies, and also Pepco or BG&E. You can contact them, let them know what's taking place with you. But there are companies in place that would help you with your utilities, because I reached out to them. Again, going back to my social worker, this is information that she provided to me. So what patients that are newly diagnosed, that they don't have a social worker, at their cancer center to help them, that's why you have Gayla and you have Erica Survive, and you have organizations that would give you that information, which is very important. When it came down to my mortgage at the time, I think I had, what's the name of the bank? Oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of the bank.
Bank of America.
Rock, uh, no, it was another one, but let's say Rocket Mortgage. You can reach out to Rocket Mortgage and say, hey, can I get a forbearance on my account? And then you modify it later once you're able to, stop back
Right.
paying your mortgage. So they would just, either you can pay what you can, or don't pay anything at all for 6 months or however long you need. So I had to
Right.
do that at that time. So it's and thank God, at that time it was put in place, because before that, I think it was President Obama who put it in place where people wouldn't lose their homes. Were
Yeah.
able to get
Mhm.
a forbearance in their home. Thank goodness, because I could have went into foreclosure. Mind you, I had just purchased my house in 2011 and I got sick in 2012. So I wasn't
Wow.
even really good in my home. So there are programs in place. And also, again, patients can reach out to myself, or again, like you stated, Gayla, for that information.
That's very helpful. So, question. So, as you're going through that process and just putting myself in the support perspective from family
Hmm.
perspective, you're sick, you're trying to process everything, you're having to reach out to the various different bill creditors so that you can pay your bills. At that point, do you have to, how do you go about getting, I guess, not the, what do you call it? Um, the power of attorney, so to speak, but how do you go about getting that person who's going to be helping you? Because of course you can't really fill out the
Mm-hmm.
necessary work at times. So how is that
Yes.
process administered?
Yeah, so you would have to put someone in place. Like if you do have a loved one or a close friend, or if you are married, or you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, if they can, you could put those things in place to make them the power of attorney to be able to, read documents, sign documents for you. I was truly blessed. I would say I'm not, taking it lightly because I did have stage 4 cancer, but I was
Amen.
so able, I was able to really do a lot on my own.
Oh
I
wow.
was,
Okay.
although
That's
I was going through a lot at that time, I was sick, but I was fortunate to be able to sit on a couch, read documents, during that time and say, oh, okay, I need to contact them, contact the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Hey, I need $100. Hey, I need copay assistance. They have a great copay assist program where at that time they was giving $2,500
wow.
for the year to help you with copay. It says now they're giving 5,000 for Hodgkin lymphoma. So that
Wow.
5,000 will go from January to January for the whole, for the entire year for copay assistance, or to go towards your your health insurance premium. So that was a blessing. So
Wow.
again, there are resources out there, and if you do have a loved one, or again a friend that can be that eyes and ears and be able to do the legwork for you, that is a plus. But if not, there are programs or organizations that be able to assist you as well.
That's very helpful. Couple questions. One, did you have to, um, I just drew a blank myself, go to dialysis? Did you have to do dialysis? And then the other question was, is there some sort of, because again, each type of cancer is different, and I'm educating
Mhm.
myself as well as the audience. So, in addition to whether or not you did the dialysis, you know how if you have breast cancer, they have the early breast cancer detection. There's things that you can do ahead of time, you know, back in the day. Do people still do buddy checks, nines? They used to have that where you test yourself in the shower. So is there any type of early detection for Hodgkin's?
No, so I did go through 12 rounds, 6 months of chemotherapy treatment. And there is no detection. I mean, well, let me go back. My detection was ongoing persistent cough. So I would cough,
Call.
like if I'm talking to you right now, like I'm coughing like every few seconds. I didn't know until after I was, well, I wasn't even diagnosed fully, but when I did the CAT scan and it showed signs where my lymph nodes were enlarged around my lungs, when I started
Mm,
to Google, I would see
yeah.
signs that I was having night sweats for months, and that is a symptom. I was
Wow.
having night sweats. I was losing weight. I would have people at work and say, "What you doing? You losing weight?" I didn't know because I wasn't really working out at that time. And also just I wasn't able to stand in the shower for a long period of time. So I would be getting ready for work every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, like clockwork. And I'm in the shower and I felt like I was dying inside, but I didn't know
Wow.
and that was before the cough. So once the cough came, I said, you know what? My colleague at the time stated that I needed to go to the doctor. I said, you know what? This is like after 2, 3 weeks of taking over the counter meds. I'm thinking it's November 20,
Yeah.
2012. I had a cold. So I said, you know what? Let me make an appointment. And that's when my doctor gave me antibiotics and cough medicine. A week later, I'm still coughing.
Mm,
I'm feeling bad. He said, let me do a CAT scan. So go to the radiology center, get a CAT scan. And it showed that my lymph nodes were enlarged around my lungs. So now the journey started. 2012, November 2012. So from November 2012 until March 2013, I was sick. I was
wow.
my body was like dying on me. On the day of my surgery, I felt like this was it. Like literally, I felt like it was it. I was in the back of my dad's truck as they was taking me to my second biopsy surgery because I had two. The first one was not successful in December 2012. And I just felt like life was just leaving me. I couldn't walk. They had to wheel me in a wheelchair, and I found out
Mm.
my red blood cells were depleted, and I just felt like I was dying. So during that time of trying to figure out what was going on, my body was like the cancer was spreading, so it was everywhere.
Wow.
So, yeah,
But you had the will, though. You know what I mean? 3 to 4 months,
definitely,
not feeling good, not really knowing what was going on. You just
yeah,
had the will. That's what that was. That was the
definitely,
will of God in you to
definitely.
keep going. I mean, I couldn't imagine feeling weak and tired in the shower. Do you know what? Of
Hmm.
course, you know what that feels like. I can only imagine what that feels like. So that was will.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, it was the week before my actual surgery, the in early mid March. I wanted to get out. It was rough. You know what I mean? I wanted to just hang out, go and hang out, have some dinner with a girlfriend. And I remember making plans on a Friday night to go out, and we were going to go to park in DC. And I remember getting dressed. Wasn't really all that well, but I'm gonna get out. So I got dressed, I got in my car, and as I was leaving my neighborhood, I remember I was just vomiting everywhere over
Oh,
myself. And I just became like very hot and sweaty. And I was like, something is wrong. I called my parents, and my dad wasn't close. So I called a girlfriend who lived nearby, and she was like, I'm almost home from work. I said, well, I need to go to the hospital. And at that moment, when she took me to the hospital, I told him that it was a possibility that I had cancer. And when the ER doctor did a CAT scan just to see what he see, wanted to see what he wanted to see, and he came back to the ER waiting room, and he told me, he said, it looks like it's cancer. I'm not going to diagnose you because you stated that you're having surgery next week, but biopsy surgery, but it looked like it's cancer. And if you're still working, you need to stop working at this moment. And that was a week before my cancer. I mean, before my biopsy surgery.
biopsy surgery. Oh my goodness. So you said you had two biopsy surgeries. The first one wasn't successful. What do you mean when you say it wasn't successful? Did they not get everything, or what went wrong? Or what wasn't
So
successful about it?
So during that time, there was a specialist who did a surgery I was put under. They went in with a scope down my throat. And they took a rice grain size piece of the lymphoma. I'm sorry, of the lymph node, and it came back unsuccessful. They couldn't diagnose me at that time. So as I'm sitting in the recovery room, and I was told this, I said, something is wrong. Like, I'm
Yes.
sick. Something is wrong. And he said, I know. I have to send you to another specialist in at St. Agnes Hospital. That's how I ended up going to get my treatments at St. Agnes, because that's why I got my second biopsy surgery done by a young African American doctor, surgeon.
Wow.
And he, again, on March 28th, that was my second surgery. He cut my neck open. He got an actual lymph node, a whole lymph node, and he did the biopsy on that, on it, and that's when it came back hours later, and that I had cancer. But
Wow.
I
Oh
didn't
my.
find out till probably a month or two later, after my aunt asked me, "What stage are you?" I said, "You know what? I didn't think about that. With everything going on, I don't know." But this was after they did a bone marrow biopsy, which they go into your hip and take the bone marrow. Worst thing ever. I'm just going to be honest. And they
What?
take the tissue out, and that's how they diagnosed me. It spread into my bone marrow, which is a part of my immune system. And that's what put me at a stage 4.
Okay. So explain that again, because I don't understand it. So you had to
Uh-huh.
have two surgeries where they actually went in through your neck to take out some lymph nodes. And you said in order
Yes.
for them to diagnose you with the stage that you were in, they had to take bone marrow.
Yeah, so they did the bone marrow. So here's the thing. So with lymphoma, it spreads into your immune, like it's a part of your body's immune system. So it can spread into your spleen, your bone marrow,
uh,
or in any other part of your organs.
your organs. I got.
So I guess it's pretty much a stage that they go through just to see if it has spread anywhere else. So they took tissue from, bone marrow tissue, and that's how they ended up stating to me that it had spread into my bone marrow. So once it spread into a main body, your organ,
Yeah,
it put you at a higher stage, and
I
it put me
got.
at a stage 4. Yeah. So it was
Wow.
all over my chest, my stomach, and my bone marrow.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Yeah.
thank God you are cancer free.
Yes. Almost
Thank
10
God.
years. Yes, almost 10 years in
You are
March.
a walking miracle. You definitely
Yes.
don't look like anything you just described at all.
And that's why I am a voice. I want to be a face. I want to empower and move others to let them know that this is your fight. Fight cancer
Yeah,
back. You got this. Don't give up. It's tough, but you got people like myself, yourself, Gayla. We have people around us that can actually,
absolutely.
step up and help you during your toughest times.
Absolutely. I've been following your journey for so long, and I have seen you evolve in your growth. And I'm just grateful that you accepted this opportunity to sit and talk with me.
Yes.
Is there any advice? I'm going to bring Gayla on in a moment. And what I would like to do is once Gayla and I are done chatting, I'm going to bring the two of you on to see if either of you have questions for the other. You know what I mean? Because this is
Yes.
great commentary. This is a great way for us to, educate and to be aware of certain things. So, is there any advice that you would have for any cancer patients, families, or anything that you want to
Mhm.
share?
My biggest advice, and I live by this, and I state all the time, to never give up and to always, survive with your beautiful smile. Continue to smile, continue to push through, and know that the support is out there. Erica Survive, LLC, ericasurvive.com. You can go email me. You can, call me if you need to. I am here. I'm here to support those that are in need of the support. Sometimes people just want to vent, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Or figure out like, what do I do next? Okay, he told me or she told me that I have cancer, the doctors. What do I do next? I remember laying in bed, connected with a survivor through the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And she was based in maybe Houston or somewhere else. They connect me with a peer, and I just asked her so many questions like, okay, I was just diagnosed. What do I do? What did you do?
yeah,
So
yeah.
the support is there. So I would just say, the takeaway is to never give up and always have a desire to survive.
I love that. And tell everybody how they can find you on social media and where to get that shirt from, that cancer merch. I'll have to put some.
Yes. So you can find me, Erica Campbell, at Erica_survived at Instagram. Also, Erica Campbell Desire to Survive on Facebook, and ericasurvive.com. That's EricaSurvived.com, where you can get your hoodie, support cancer survivors. Again, the proceeds will go to help cancer communities, those that are that's looking for financial support, should I say. And we also have the Support My Breast hoodies available as well, limited edition for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, although we're in November. But every day we're raising awareness for all cancers. So yes, check me out, check out my journey. And I thank you so much for
Absolutely.
having me.
Absolutely. Thank you again for sharing your story. So I'm going to let you hang out backstage for a moment before we
Okay.
bring up Kayla. And then I want to read some of the comments. Everyone was wowed with you sharing your story. We got a lot of wows, nothing but God, with you having the will to
Thank
live
you.
and to push forward. Tanise says, Erica, thank you for sharing your story with us and enlightening the audience about cancer. So that's what it's about.
Thank you.
Hang out
Yes,
backstage, and we're going to bring on Gayla. And then after Gayla and I chat, then I'll bring the both of you back on.
absolutely. All righty.
All right. Hang on. If you guys are watching, I hope this segment of the different types of cancer support and the services that are available, I hope this commentary is informative to you. I hope that you find it useful. This is the reason why I love doing what I do, making sure that we put the necessary information out there to the masses who need it. So, up next is founder and CEO of an organization called We Will Survive Cancer. Gayela Bynum is an amazing woman whose organization is primarily focused on not just the actual patient themselves, but also caring for the families. Oftentimes, the families are going along for the ride as well because they're oftentimes having to be the support system for the actual patient. So I'm going to bring on Gayela so that she can tell you a little bit about herself and her organization. So you guys help me welcome Miss Gayela Bynum. Welcome, Gayela.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here. And thank you for having me. And that was absolutely one of the most impressive young ladies talking about.
Isn't she?
She really is. She reminds me so much of the power and the warrior spirit that my daughter-in-law had. And I personally have never had cancer. So I continually learn new things about cancer. And I learned so much from listening to her.
Me too.
Definitely, definitely want to connect with her.
Yes, absolutely. I will make sure you guys
Yeah,
are
very
connected.
well spoken, young
Like
woman.
I said, once you and I are done, I would like to bring her back on and have you guys talk to one another because I feel like you may have some questions for her and vice versa. And
Right.
again, we're helping the audience. I mean, you guys have just really educated me. So I want to talk to you about the support and the services that are available in terms of how We Will Survive Cancer organization steps in, and then talk to me a little bit about how you originally came about finding the organization.
Well, let me start with how we founded. The organization, I'd never had cancer. I'd never been around really anyone in my life that had. And my daughter in law was diagnosed with advanced stage 3 cancer 13 months after she had my grandson. She should have been diagnosed when she was pregnant. But the doctor said she's too young, and the techs would laugh if he sent her off for a mammogram. And after Reed was born, the lump that she had kept growing, and she went back, and she still had this kind of dialogue back and forth with the doctor. And finally, he gave her a prescription for a mammogram, telling her that, the techs would laugh, she was too young, but he was going to do it anyway because she kept asking him on and on. So it wasn't funny, when
Not
she
at
was
all.
diagnosed with advanced stage 3 cancer. So that was in 2005. And she threw herself into raising money for Coleman, Austin. That's where they were living, in the Austin area. And from that September to November, when the race was, she raised over $25,000. And
Wow.
so over the period of time, the 5.5 years she lived, she raised over $125,000 for Komen. And they made her the spokesperson in 2009. In the meantime, through all that time, when I would be down there learning about cancer, the experiences, her telling me stories of people that didn't have the kind of support she did from her parents, my son, her friends. Somebody was with her all the time when she was doing chemo or whatever, kind of treatment that she had.
So similar to Erica's story. She was
Yeah,
blessed
it's so similar.
Wow.
And her and Erica talking about that you've got to have hope. That's what I always continue to say. You must keep your hope and faith alive, because that's 3/4 of the battle.
Yeah.
And of course, the medical part of it, it's very difficult. Michelle passed away in 2011, so a lot has been done since then in new discoveries and in everything. But yeah, it was very. My daughter-in-law was a huge inspiration to me.
It sounds like it for sure.
Yeah, educating me in a way that I had no idea about. And so anyway, Michelle was here in 2009 while she was the spokesperson. And she met a lot of our friends and everything here. And people were so impressed with her story and the way that she handled herself. It was like, we'll, you start an organization, we'll support you. And so we did in 2009, and we're 13 years old now. It's been quite a journey.
If you don't mind me asking, how old is Reed, and how does he feel about the legacy that his mom started and how you guys are helping so many people?
Well, he was 13 months old when she was finally diagnosed, and 6 when she passed away. And that year of 2011, when she passed away, Mama Carmo with Tiger Lily honored Michelle posthumously. Wow. And so Reed came to Washington to accept the award, and he spoke. Aww. And he's a remarkable young man. He graduated from high school this year. He's 18 years old now, going to college. And I'm sure there's a lot that he doesn't remember because his mother was sick from the time he was born almost until he was 6. But he got some tattoos recently that honored her. One a heart above his heart,
yes,
which is quite impressive. And he's when I've been down in Austin, he's gone and helped us deliver gifts to different families down there with cancer. And he's been very supportive.
I absolutely love that. That sounds remarkable. Talk to me about just going back and reflecting back on some of the conversations Eric and I have had in those moments where a patient is diagnosed and they may not have, a social worker or someone to give them any types of guidance. Are you connected with any of those hospitals and facilities? What happens? So what would be the process if someone is diagnosed, or how do you insert yourself in a situation like that once a patient is diagnosed? And then at what point do you come in to help facilitate and kind of guide them through hope in their journey?
We work directly with organizations. We work with Life with Cancer. Howard University Cancer Center is our mainstay. And we've also worked with St. Agnes and Lombardi and Children's Hospital. They have the brick and mortar organizations, and so there are certain things that that they do that, like through Inova, through SHAR, through Howard University Cancer Center. But then there are other things that they don't do, like provide Christmas gifts. Things during Mother's Day. We've always tried to have a Mother's Day brunch for mothers, and we do something at Halloween sometimes, and Thanksgiving. During the pandemic, we actually helped Howard start a food pantry there, so that the patients that were having surgery or mammograms or whatever, they didn't have to go shopping in regular stores.
Oh, wow.
And we provided food to many, many families during that whole time, and actually delivered to them. And we do whatever we can. Recently, I was called to provide transportation for an elderly woman that needed to go to a doctor's office, and she has cancer, breast cancer. She hadn't been to a doctor for this year. And so,
So she was diagnosed some time ago, but hadn't been to the doctor?
She apparently not. I mean, it was a very, very sad story. So we're not bonded to be able to drive people, but I got an Uber, followed the Uber to her doctor's office, sat with her sat in the office until she was finished, and then got an Uber and put her back in there to take her home.
Bless your heart. You
But
guys are the real heroes too. I'm
well,
sure that made all the difference in the world, having gone through something like that by yourself.
yeah, and her situation, this woman's situation was pretty dire. I following up, I mean, it's very difficult. You have to be very careful because of the HIPAA
Yes.
laws, and
Mm-hmm.
so you have to be very careful in the way that you approach it. And since we're not a medical facility, I try to be respectful of that and go through the organization, find out what we can do, what they're comfortable with us doing.
Makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Um, Switching gears slightly, I know that you guys are having your fundraising event that's going to
Mhm.
be approaching here on the 12th. Can you tell us a little bit about that, the purpose of that, where proceeds may be going, and how one would be able to get their tickets?
I absolutely. The tickets, it's a David Yurman fashion show that's going to be at McLaren showroom in Sterling, and it's sponsored by We Will Survive Cancer in McLaren and David Yurman, and it's going to be quite nice. The money, any amount of money that we raise goes to what we do, to providing support for families. And as you know, Making Spirits Bright is our big thing that we do every year. With 13 years, we've been able to provide gifts to families that would not be able to have them because they just, they're financially challenged. They don't, money needs to go to treatment. And some of the stories of how much treatment costs are, with
I
people
can
that don't
imagine.
have insurance, it's phenomenal.
I can only imagine. And you also have a Christmas, a holiday fundraiser that's coming up as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's going to be at Howard University Cancer Center in the auditorium on December 10th from 11 to 1:30. And it's going to be a musical program with Santa. And the musicians are coming from Warren Shad, who is the phenomenal piano guru that designs. I know you know Warren.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and we also are being, we're sponsored by Macy's for our Making Spirits Bright. They've sponsored us now since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there today going through what presents, and families and this and that and the other. So it's,
That in itself sounds magical. And I mean, from the gifts to the lights, if that doesn't boost one's spirit, then I don't know what does.
yeah, and that, and to me, that's, would like to be able to do more. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, that what we can do is try to help people, try to make them. Josie, provides makeup and makeovers when at Howard, when women have mammograms, they come in. We've given wigs to them. Of course, she's a master at.
Oh my God, Josie is amazing. She's, like I was telling Erica earlier, for anyone who doesn't know Josie, you can look her up on Instagram or Facebook, Josie Valdez or Valdez Management. She's a jack of all trades. I know she's very instrumental with being on your board. She does a lot. And like you said,
Yeah,
with the makeup and the wigs, she does it all. And that in itself, especially battling cancer and dealing with so many different things internally, you'd be amazed at how not only you can transform the outside, but the inside with the makeup and
right.
wigs.
And the thing is, like that Lizeth Alvarado, who is also on our board, a couple
Yes,
of weeks
so
ago
that's
had her Epic
beautiful.
Beauty,
Oh
and
my
it was a day of beauty on Friday, and women came in, and Josie had her glam squad there doing everybody's makeup. That uh, Ramona had her beautiful dresses that she was styling, and they were
oh my
have
God.
beautiful pictures taken. And so, it's just a
So there were lots of tears as well as lots of smiles. That
right.
sounds magical.
Yeah. And the thing is that you want, with women especially, you know, feeling beautiful is in a time that you're going through so much treatment, you feel horrible. But if you can feel beautiful from the inside, from the outside, you know, it makes a huge, I mean, it does for me anyway.
Same. It does for me too. So I can only imagine. I mean, none of us are different when it
Right.
comes to that. We all have feelings. We all have moments where we lose hope. But then there are those little things like getting your makeup done or getting your hair done that makes you feel beautiful again. So we all share in that. You know what I mean? No matter what we're going through, no matter who we are, that's just a common thing that we all share as humans.
Absolutely. One of the things that I also wanted to mention that's coming up in August next year is a fabulous cruise, wine and polo cruise, and ending. It's let me see here.
Yep, that's fine right there. That's perfect. Wine and polo cruise.
Yeah, I'll send you the information.
Yeah, send me the information.
It's going to end up with a fabulous.
I'm all for the cruise.
Yeah, it's going to end up with a fabulous polo event at Salvador Ferragamo's estate in El Burro.
Wow.
It's so amazing.
That sounds amazing. Yes.
Yeah. And
definitely send me the information and I'll circulate it. I definitely want to go to that, to be a part of the cruise. That's going to be nice.
It will be so cool. And I'm suggesting that people get, you know, their reservations now. That's
absolutely
Tariq Salahi. And I can give you all the information about that too.
Okay. Yes, definitely give me the information and I can circulate it. And then one last thing before I bring Erica back on. Talk to me about you guys. I know Josie mentioned that you guys were going to start doing consults with some of the patients and their families.
We're hoping to do that. Yes, absolutely.
Details. What would that consist of, or what would that look like?
Well, I think that we have we have a lot to discuss about how to work that out.
Okay.
Yeah. It definitely, you know, whether it's consulting for beauty, for hair or whatever, or if it's emotional, there's so many different pieces to it.
So many components. Yes, makes sense for sure. For sure.
So how that gets organized, you know, is still to be decided.
Okay. Okay. So once you guys figure that out, we can definitely come back on and talk about it. So I am going to, well, before I bring Erica back on, can you tell everybody again where they can get their tickets to the fundraiser event on November 12th, and then where they can find We Will Survive Cancer?
Okay, We Will Survive Cancer. The website is www.wewillsurvivecancer.org, all spelled out. You can reach me at on Instagram at Gayela or at We Will Survive Cancer. My phone number, I don't mind giving it, you know.
Yes, please.
202-257-7930. But if I don't answer, please leave a message, because then I'll pick it up. But I'm kind of spread between a whole bunch of different things right now, so I can't always get to the phone.
Do you have an assistant, Gayela? That's what I meant to ask you.
No.
You think you need one?
I do. Josie, you know, I mean, there are a few people.
You said just leave a message. You need an assistant, Gayela.
I do. I do, because you know I work full time too.
I should have known. I did not know that, but that doesn't surprise. You're a busybody. That doesn't surprise me.
And plus I make wine caddies, so I've got I have a whole bunch of things going on.
That's why she looks so good. So that's the secret, Erica. Doesn't she look so young? That's what my problem is. I'm working, going. You look phenomenal, Gayela. Let me bring Erica on so I can stop talking at her.
Oh my goodness, Gayela. Yeah, I work a full-time job as well as running Erica Survived.
Well,
Oh my god. I don't know why I'm surprised with Gayla though. She's just a busybody. In real life, she's so adorable. So amazing. That doesn't
Oh my
surprise me.
gosh. That's
thank
good.
you.
Keep you going. Keep you going.
It does. And I've seen people that have retired and they're dead in a few months.
That part. Yep.
And
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I was married to my second husband, was a very, very powerful man in Washington when I met him, and he was 16 years older than me.
Wow.
And he retired, and it was probably the most devastating thing in my life to watch how he went downhill, and it scares me to death. My mother, when she retired from teaching, became the president of everything that she belonged to.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But you know what? If you still feel youthful, because that's how I feel. Age is just a number. I feel great. So if you still feel good and you have it in you, why not? Who says that because the quote unquote said you have to retire at 65 or however old? If you still feel good, continue to do what you love.
Well,
Absolutely.
I have to tell you, I went to vote early today.
You did.
So I handed them my card, this man that took it, my ID card. And he said, well, everything looks good on here. But he said, there's something wrong. And I said, what's that? He said, well, this date of your birthday.
Don't look it at all. Do not look it at all.
Absolutely.
Erica, Gayla, how tall are you?
Well, I used to be 5'2" 3/4. I think I'm 5 foot now.
Listen, she is feisty. When I tell you she will check you and get you in place.
To get it going. Yeah, let me tell you. Sometimes you have to be that way to make sure, especially with you having all these different events and fundraisers, and you have people, you have to make sure your people are in order and everything.
Powerful voice when she needs it to be heard.
Well, Erica,
Absolutely.
you should come to our event, to our fashion show on the 12th.
Is that 12th of
November?
Of November.
Next Saturday.
Oh my God. And I won't be here.
So
is it different? So is it different fundraiser events? Like the one that I seen that you went to, Chelley, where you was dressed up. When was that?
Yeah, that was sponsored by Rosewood. Yeah,
there's something all the time.
Yes, all the time. Yeah.
And Chelley is everywhere.
Yeah, I think you were you was on a red carpet. You was on the carpet doing the commentating or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, she's talking about the American Veterans Ball. Is that what you're talking about?
Okay. Yeah,
maybe. So it's different fundraiser events where you do it's a ball.
Right.
Type fundraiser.
And there's one like 2 or 3 a night every weekend now, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just you can't keep up with them all.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. And I won't be here on the 12th, but please let me know about the next one.
Okay, we'll come to Howard.
I'll be there
December 10th.
December 10th. Yes, I can make that one. Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to be posting the flyer.
Okay.
I'm trying to
wait the information to Gayla, and I'll repost it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Absolutely. And I think I've already started following you guys because Chelley, months ago when you went to that event months ago. So I follow your organization as well on social media.
Well, Chelley was also at our event in March 25th.
Yes.
Maybe that was the event I last seen you. Fabulous outfit on. I can't.
And that may be the time that I seen her and she did her reel and things like that. Yes, she's always fabulous. Yes. Yes. So yes, I will be there on the 10th of December.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And calendar. We have worked with St. Agnes before.
Yes.
I like, I went up there 2 or 3 years ago before the pandemic and met with them, but there's been a big turnover. So I'd like to get with you and maybe find out a contact again.
Okay.
That would be
great.
Great.
Definitely.
Yeah, great for sure.
Definitely. Okay.
We need folks like you to get the information out there and to be the heroes to the real warriors, the ones who are actually fighting the fight, but they can't do it without you guys. So it's very important.
Absolutely.
Well, Erica, I'm so impressed with your attitude, and your story is amazing. You
Yeah.
remind
Thank you.
you remind me. I mean, you've said a lot of the same things I say. So, you know, I like that because I think sometimes I'm really terrific.
I mean, as you should. I mean, if you don't, who else will?
Absolutely. That's right. You have to think highly of yourself.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it.
Well,
Yes.
and terrific in the standpoint that you've got to have the right attitude.
Absolutely.
Be humble.
Somebody has the right
You have to have
mindset.
hope. And
Yes.
you know, I do get depressed sometimes myself a little, but then I have to talk myself out of it and say, this is
Absolutely.
ridiculous. Get over it.
Yeah.
And that is
And
another
truthfully
conversation, Chelley.
speaking, I'm sorry. Truthfully speaking, we all have those moments, you know what I mean? But we have to be reminded of, you know, we are what we put out into the universe. So I'm glad that,
Absolutely.
you know, when you do have those moments, Gayla, you talk yourself out of it because
Yeah.
it's the law of
It doesn't
attraction.
last long, but
What
and
you
I
think,
can't
what you
stand
believe
myself.
is what it becomes. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Erica, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, in regards to what Gayla said, I mean, people, for me, you know, being almost a 10-year survivor, people may think, oh, you know, you went through it. You don't have those moments, you know, what, like I spoke about having anxiety or sometimes feeling like I just want to be in my own shell. I have those moments, you know, from time to time. And I think back to what I've been through and, you know, I have my moments and it's okay. You know, you sit back, you know, you meditate, you pray about it, whatever helps you cope at that time to kind of get you away from those thoughts or, you know, feeling the anxiety or the depression or whatever you may be going through at that time, you know, you do it. And like you said, you have a moment and you're okay to have a moment. And that's why I tell, you know, even with people that's going through their cancer battle, yeah, it's okay. You're human. It's okay. So I do, and I pray about it. I meditate. I have a moment, and I keep it moving. Yeah. And that's what keeps me, you know, grounded and able to help others as well.
I love that.
Well, yeah, and I like your shirt, and I like what you're doing. I think that's great.
You.
So,
thank you.
We'll have to talk about all of that.
Yes, definitely.
So what I'll do is I'll connect both of you guys in a group chat. On Instagram. That way you guys can stay connected. And then Gayla, I'll text you afterwards so that I can get all the information from you.
Okay. I'll send you the flyer. I'll send you all this information about the cruise.
Okay. Yes, please.
With the press release. And I'll also, I think you have this, don't you? The
Yes. I reposted that today too. Yes.
Okay, yes. Great.
Perfect. So, Gayla, any last words, thoughts?
No, just thank you always for the support that you've given me.
Absolutely.
And the praise, the acclamations, everything that I mean, you know, you don't have to do that, and I really appreciate it. It's how
I feel though. I honestly mean it.
Well, you know, sometimes I mean, this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life is having this organization because I want I want money so that I can help other people. And it's hard for me to say no to anybody. And Josie, you know, keeps me kind of grounded. It's okay to say no.
Yes. Sometimes. Yes.
But you know, we can't do everything. And people don't understand that right now it's hard to have any kind of money coming in. I think everybody's scared to death right now with what everything that's going on around. But you know, the one thing about it is that you have to give, whether it's your time. If you don't have any money, you can always give your time. But the more you give, the more you get back.
Amen.
Yes. Yes, that part. Yes.
Yeah. So all those times that I keep saying, God, why did you have me do this? I don't understand it. Then something wonderful happens,
Yes.
you know?
Mhm.
And so I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
This is definitely what you're supposed to be doing. And I'll say to you what you said to everybody else, don't give up, because I can imagine that this journey and this walk for you to help support and be the shoulders of families and the patients aren't easy. So I
Yep.
say to you, don't give up. Continue doing what you're doing, because you are a hero as well. And I mean that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's
Absolutely.
sweet. I don't feel too much like one, but thank you.
And you have a sense of humor. Any last words or thoughts, Erica?
No, this has been great. Thank you, Chelley. You have, I think it's been what, 5-6 years I've known you. It's been a while. You brought me into, it may be longer, because I remember coming to a podcast interview over, in Maryland, and you're always helpful. So this is great to have me on your show, to be able to share my story, and my testimony and my journey. So, and to be able to connect with a new, beautiful being, Miss Gayela, this is what this is about. Yeah, this is about connection, and being able to get involved with other organizations, and to be helpful with your organization, and I'm looking forward to it, and coming to the Christmas event, and I look forward to connecting with you further.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think I've got my eye on these shirts, because I think this would be a really, really nice thing to include in our Christmas for cancer patients.
I think that would be dope.
Yes,
too.
definitely.
Maybe you could come out with a maybe a red one or something, a Christmas version or something. I don't know.
And red is my favorite color, so I want to put that out. So that may be an idea.
That'd be great. Maybe you and Gayela can talk a little bit about creating what that will look, that merch would look like for the Christmas fundraiser. But I'm definitely going to get me one. I really need one for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Sure. Thank you.
You guys have been amazing. I love both of you guys, and we will be in touch soon.
Well, thank you so much. Yes. It's always fun seeing you and talking to you and getting to see what you're wearing.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Love you guys. We'll talk soon.
All right, ladies.
Bye. Thank you guys for tuning into the Chelley Roy Show. I hope you guys had a moment to sit and take in some of this amazing information shared by both Gayela Bynum, the founder and CEO of We Will Survive Cancer, and Erica Campbell from Erica Survive. You guys be sure to follow them on all social media handles. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at The Chelley Roy Show, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Chelley Roy Show. Stay tuned. Thank you, and have a great night.